Welcome to the Redvee TV preview show, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2019 season, as we look ahead to the round 22 derby clash against the Wigan Warriors at the Totally Wicked Stadium this Friday night. If you're planning on watching on TV, well, you've made a mistake, because it's not. And that means it should be sold out.
Yes, you'd have thought so.
I've seen a tweet from the clubs today to say that the North and the South Stand, home ends, or home sides as the case may be, single tickets only remain. There was the last 200 tickets in the West Stand, and I think Wigan only had a couple of hundred left as well. So it should be a cracking atmosphere. Nice weather, big crowd, all set up for an absolute stuffing of Wigan.
Yeah, well, that's it. I was thinking about this game today, and you know what? The way that we played against Hull, if we play like that against Wigan, I think we'll have too much.
I think we'll have
too much.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters kind of what they throw at us, because if we play that well, they won't touch us. If we have an off day, you know what we're gonna like. I likened them to the Germans in the World Cup, that you can't write them off the other week. They're one of them horrid teams, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm quite liking the fact that they seem to have found a little bit of form as well.
Yeah. And
because they got the voices come back.
Yeah, chirping on
the chirping on us, just because we happen to point out that the team who finishes fifth could potentially win the grand final by losing more games than they've won this season.
Yeah.
I was making a point just how odd it is that it doesn't normally happen like that. Not because we're afraid, because I'm not being funny. Cass finishing fifth, if they do that, aren't going to get near the grand final.
No.
Wigan might, but that's only because Warrington can be so bad.
Yeah, and Hull.
And Hull.
Depending on
the chirping a little bit.
Yeah.
Won a couple, have we?
Yeah, chirping away, aren't they?
Not going down anymore, are we? But yeah, no Sean O'Loughlin for them Friday night. He's missing, finally. He normally gets dug up, but he's not playing.
They must have put him in the cryogenic chamber a bit.
Yeah,
late.
but they've found form, haven't they?
Yeah.
Adrian Lamb's been given a contract for next year. Hopefully he'll do like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and I'll tank the rest of the season.
Possibly. I think they're missing one or two as well, aren't they? Not only Sean O'Loughlin, I think Joe Greenwood. He's had a couple of problems.
Obviously couldn't face facing us again.
And is Ben Flower out as well?
That's a shame.
So they're missing quite a bit out of the first choice pack. I know they've got Leo Farrell back, and that's probably coincided with them coming into a bit of good form. But as I say, if we play as well as we did against Hull, I know another game that wasn't on telly, even though it was first against third, we will have too much. It's just we need to set that bar high. And there's a clip that the club put on social media of a tackling stint. I think it was early in the second half when we played in first game of the season, started off by Mark Percival. If we've got that intensity about us, then that should set us up.
Right, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Who did Saints play against at the Totally Wicked Stadium this season, come over from Australia before the World Cup Challenge?
Oh, I can't remember.
I knew I'd get you with that one.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had a difficult fixture at the Totally Wicked Stadium since then. That's the last of... So hopefully Wigan will give us a really good opposed training session.
Yeah.
Because we need that sort of test building up to the big games.
What, the big games being London away?
No, we're tanking that one. We decided was tanking that one. Disappointed if we don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good run up. Do you know what? I do jest, but it's Wigan's cup final, isn't it?
At this point in the season, yeah, absolutely.
Just hopefully the Wigan headhunters don't come out and try and decapitate a few of ours and nobble us a little bit. That's what they usually try and do.
Yeah, well, I was at a forum last night for Johnny Lomax's testimonial, and somebody asked the question regarding Warrington and if they crossed the line, and the players didn't think they crossed the line, but they pointed out that teams sometimes go to the plan B, which is to try and roughhouse us and try and drag us into a bit of an arm wrestle, a bit of a grubby game.
And essentially, for me, that's if there's a little bit of kryptonite against us this season, it's potentially that sort of tactic.
Yeah, getting dragged down into something like that.
And Ben Thaler fell for it at Warrington a little bit, and it slowed the game down, and it doesn't really match our style of play. And it's Ben Thaler on Friday night, so hopefully he's a little bit more aware of it.
Well, I hope as well that if it comes to it and Wigan start taking pot shots at penalties, Saints were very confident. Again, somebody asked on the back of that question, I think it was Johnny Lomax, said when they took the third shot at goal, and we've said this before, we were saying it after the Warrington game at the end of last year, the semi-final that we lost, that we showed them too much kind of, I don't know, respect, yeah, that's probably the word. And he said, we just turned around and said, these aren't getting through. They're not confident of getting through. So let them keep taking shots at goal. We know we'll score.
And we'll have our period. For me, if you don't put 20 on Saints are going to come back and win. Our defence is that good, and we will score that many points, because we will make 3 or 4 breaks a game, which will result in tries. Squad news this week then?
Yeah, James Roby's back. Aaron Smith is back as well. With Joseph Paulo, who's injured and could be out maximum 2 weeks.
Pulled his calf.
Yeah, I know some people won't be too bothered about that, but I think he just does give you a bit of experience in the middle of the park.
I like Paulo.
I think he's got a good set of hands. He's probably not shown us exactly what he's about, but I think he's going about his work a bit understated. And listen,
he's a steady head.
Yeah, he is a steady head. And Matty Costello drops out as well, which is understandable.
So for you, who comes into the 17? You'd assume if Roby's fit, he comes back in at 9. Do we go with a ready-made understudy in Smith, or do you look at the option of Bentley because he can cover various positions?
That is the one that gets me. I'm not sure which one they'll go with. Bentley, because he can cover 9, and he did 80 minutes against Hull, and he can cover second row, where we're going to obviously be missing Paulo from the coming off the bench. I don't know if he'll go with that, and I think it's possibly just Bentley's versatility may just get him the nod ahead. They've said they're going to give Roby until Thursday. I think if he's not fit, it's obvious. Smith just comes into the starting lineup. Bentley's on the bench.
Listen, there's no need to rush Roby, regardless of being Wigan, and with the fact that we probably won't play them again this season.
We will now. You said that. But yeah, that's it. If he wanted to kind of, if he's not quite right for this week, I probably wouldn't even risk him next week against London.
Definitely not.
I'd leave it till the semi-final and bring him back in for that.
Yeah. Right then, we've covered the game Friday night essentially. Will Saints win?
Yeah.
By how many?
18.
I'm going 26. And I'm being cautious.
I'm always cautious with Saints Wigan games because they're a horrible team.
Okay, the other big news this week is Justin Holbrook, or the lack of news. He has done an interview with the Star this week. Obviously, reports have come out in Australia in the Daily Telegraph saying Gold Coast Titans, Canterbury Bulldogs are looking at him. And obviously there's no deal signed yet. Now, he has said in the Star article, his interview with Mike Critch this week, that he's left it in the hands of his management team, and we'll get a decision in the next couple of weeks, and it needs to be done either way. At this moment in time, can you say fairer than that? He's been everything up front, honest all the way through. If he does decide to go home at the end of the season, he's fulfilled his contract.
He has, yeah. At the very least, he's fulfilled his contract.
And for me, regardless of trophies yet, will he be fully judged a success if he doesn't win a trophy? Probably not. But the brand of rugby he's brought back, the smiles, the enjoyment of going the game, everything about going to Saints now is enjoyable again.
Yeah, and the one thing I'd add to that is the link between the community and the club again.
And the fans,
Yeah, I think that's improved immensely. Again, they were on about it at the Johnny Lomax forum last night, saying that because they went over to America and they found out that that's what the clubs did over there. They interacted with fans more. They brought that connect. Everything that they did was reported back to fans. He's been part of that.
And do you know what? He's Australian, which we all know, of course. His family's from Australia, all his family's over there. If the opportunity comes up with a good option to go to, could you begrudge him going?
No, you couldn't.
If it was the other way around and one of St Helens, like Paul Wellens had gone coaching in Australia and the Saints job came up, you'd hope that he'd want to come back.
Yeah.
That said, there was a report about Canterbury Bulldogs wanting him to go as an assistant next year, with potentially the option of taking over in 2021. I can't see him going for a deal like that. Not with the state that Canterbury are in at this moment in time. I think it's just a case of old and steady for a couple of weeks. see what comes out.
Yeah.
It's just see how it goes, isn't it?
As you say, you wonder if he will go back as an assistant coach with the possibility of taking over, because if he goes over as assistant coach and they start winning games and they keep the coach in place, all of a sudden, I don't know, does he find himself kind of in a queue?
Yeah,
in a queue for...
And you lose the kudos of what you've stored up.
Yeah.
Now, that said, he's been straightforward all the way
Yes.
through. Now, from what we know, the club, in terms of squad planning, have always looked 2 or 3 years ahead with who will be in the squad. Like, I bet you the club could look now at 2021, 2022 and know the core of the team who will be there based on the 3-year contracts, 4-year contracts and the succession planning in place through the highly successful youth setup we've got. I'm pretty certain that the club will have a plan B, a contingency plan, if Justin does decide to take an option back home. There's no way the club are just resting on the laurels.
Yeah, you'd imagine that they've identified a couple of people who would potentially fit the brand.
And you know what? Every year you should have that in place, just in case your coach decides mid-season that he's had enough and
that's probably not just Saints specific as well.
It's everyone.
All sports club will have an idea of, if the worst happened and your coach just walked in one day and went, "That's me done."
Yeah, or if you have 4 or 5 bad results, you always need to keep abreast of what's going on.
Correct. Yeah.
Now that said, last time Mike Rush went to Australia, he had a number of candidates in mind. He interviewed Justin Holbrook and came back with him. Now I suggested, gut feeling was that we might look at Richard Marshall. Now a lot of fans have said they don't think that's the case. Do you think we'll look to Australia and potentially do what we did last time and go with the plan that's worked so well?
Yeah, I think so. Has Marshall been in the club, in the position long enough?
Possibly not. Maybe that was it. That he came because Long was going to uni.
Yeah, and you know what? The succession thing could well be that. Yeah, Richard, you can sit in an assistant coach's post for 2 or 3 years and step up.
You can just imagine the conversation, can't you? Knock, knock. Eamon's office. Come in, it's Mike Rush. Eamon, I need to go to Australia to find a coach. Australia? Again? Why did you need to go to Australia? Well, I came back with Justin last time.
So
First class airfare, there you go. Off you go, Mike. Come and do this. Get a good turn. But yeah, it worked well last time, didn't it? So hopefully we can do the same again.
Yes.
But plan A, keep Justin.
Correct.
Any other news this week?
No, we have had a question on YouTube, just saying who do we think will be the main kind of obstacles, the main teams who would stop Saints winning the treble.
Teams to stop Saints winning the treble. Well, the Hubcap, no one, because nobody's going to catch us. The Challenge Cup, Warrington, Hull, Halifax. The obvious, isn't it? And for the title, I think it's going to be Warrington or Wigan.
You know who I would give the answer there as? Saints.
Yeah.
I think that Saints are the biggest obstacle to themselves. Yeah.
Is that a mental?
Yes. If you turn around and say Warrington are probably the second best team in terms of getting to the cup semi-final, sitting second in the league. Hull, I'm still unsure of. I didn't think they went too badly on Friday.
Hull won't win enough games in a row to get to Old Trafford.
But the issue with Hull is they throw in a bad performance every so often.
It's every other game. Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it?
And it's an absolute stinker. Always say you can't write Wigan off, but I think Saints and Saints' own mental attitude, they would be the biggest issues to themselves.
I will fully agree, because if Saints perform as they can, they will win it.
Yes. Yeah.
Me that one. But yeah, or injury.
Yeah, but then
we've got players who can step up.
We have got options, and that's it. I think that you name a 30-man squad before the start of the season. Yes, you're going to have your core, probably 20 who you hope are going to be in and about the 19 for most games. But I think we've got enough. Unless we have a massive space of injury, and I mean we lose the spine of the team, I think that's going to be the. I think you can almost write that off. We've got enough, but it'll be Saints themselves who I would worry about, and that's only based on the past couple of years when we've Catalan semi-final, Warrington
What are you saying?
semi-final, Castleford semi-final.
What are you saying is bottled?
We need to get over that hurdle, don't we?
I'll quite honestly say, I think the last couple of years we have bottled it. It's been our own failings.
We've just chatted about the Warrington game where we gave them too much respect. Yes, there's a time and a place for taking two, for taking drop goals. There's a time for actually running at a team and saying, listen, even if we can't get past you, you've got to go 90, 100 metres from here.
And the times now.
Yes, correct.
Right, if you haven't bought a ticket for Friday night, you better hurry up, because you might be watching this and it might already be sold out, and I don't want to see a Fred on the forum asking for spare tickets. That is your warning.
Yep.
Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we will join you on Friday evening after the Saints victory for the instant fan reaction, and I imagine it will be a pretty jolly one. Don't forget to like, share
And subscribe.